Get ready for Drive Time with the Poor Man. Starting now.
And the disaster begins. Good afternoon, everybody. It's me, the Poor Man. Welcome to another Drive Time with the Poor Man. That's the name of our new show because we're on during afternoon drive. Today, a very interesting show. We are going to be later on in the hour having on attorney Michael Brown presenting another edition of Laws of the Absurd, where he tells you about the most ridiculous laws in the United States and, for that matter, the entire world. Then I didn't think it could possibly come back for a second day in a row. I thought, okay, one day of this, it was cute, it was fun, but due to circumstances behind the scenes, I have to bring it back again today. It'll be another edition of, our second edition actually, of Hater Bro. That's right. It will star some of the most fabulous haters that are anywhere associated in my life. But in this particular case, I am very humbled that they will be on my show. So today, if you want to let everybody know what Hater Bro is going to be about, it will star the drunk. That's right, the drunk air personality. It will also star the backstabbing surf reporter. And it'll also star the slick ripoff artist, Mr. Announcer. So that's coming up later on in Hater Bro. But right now, what really fires me up is that every day we have a YouTube star on the program, and we are terming ourselves the official radio station of YouTube. Like, we're a regular mainstream radio station, but I absolutely love interviewing the YouTube radio personalities. And especially lately, we've got all kinds of conspiracy theory stars that are coming on the program. It's funny we hear Art Bell right before we're doing that as well, because he's, of course, done that for years. But really some fascinating people have been on here. And today, we're not sparing any expense on this one. And hit the music, please, will you? This air personality from YouTube, he is called Professor Doom. And it is my intense pleasure to welcome to the airwaves the professor himself. Greetings.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm great, and I'm really excited to have you on. You have 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I believe since you joined in 2014, almost 8 million views of your videos. And I know you posted a video about coming on our show today, and that one has 1,000 to 2,000 views in just a couple hours. So congrats on what you're doing. And for those people who want to go to YouTube and check out Professor Doom, I guess it's Professor-Doom 1, right? Is that correct?
No, it's Professor Space Doom 1.
Okay. And I guess on your YouTube, you can correct me, obviously, it says, I cover just about everything that will expose this tyrannical government for what they really are. And I'm guessing you mean the United States government, correct?
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, although most of them out there are pretty much tyrannical, yeah, I focus on the one that is the worst.
Okay. And before you focus and we get into it, a little lower on the music, please. Thank you very much. Yeah, so tell us what is concerning you about the U.S. government right now, Professor Doom. What is the biggest topic that you're into?
Well, first of all, really quick, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the YouTube community, because I know you said that you were having some YouTube stars on here. You know, there's a lot of stars that that are out there putting in a lot of work that don't get the recognition that they deserve. And really, I'd like to give a round for them, because without them, a lot of stuff would go unnoticed. So I like to think of it as a group of people in coordination, making discoveries, research, great detective work. And that's what's going to lead me into what I wanted to talk about, is the conspiracy theorist. There's this label that's being applied to a person who does the exact same work that a homicide detective will do, right? The same techniques, the same criteria that they use, and I'll give you an example, and they will label us conspiracy theorists. It's a mind game, right? So let me give you an example. Just about 2 or 3 months ago, there was an incident that took place at the front of the White House, right? There was surveillance camera footage of the incident regarding Secret Service and a bomb and some drunk individuals, right? They had the surveillance camera rolling, and they brought it onto the news and showed you exactly what happened, right? They wanted you to see it. Well, here's the mind game. They call the 9/11 truthers, they call them conspiracy theorists. But they'll ask yourself this question. Why would the Pentagon, having 13 surveillance cameras, not have one camera image of a plane striking the building? Why would federal agents go around to all surrounding businesses in that area and confiscate all surveillance footage to make sure that you're not going to see a plane not hitting the building? So it's a mind game. They will put something out there because they want you to believe it's true.
So you're saying, Professor Doom, sorry to interrupt you. What you're saying is that the plane during 9/11/2001 that crashed into the Pentagon, you feel that that never occurred, even though we saw wreckage of the Pentagon after the fact, or we thought we did.
Right. Did you hear any of the reporters when they were reporting talking about? I don't see how a plane could have fit in there, or I don't see any wreckage of the plane. Did you ever hear any of that? Did you investigate or no? That they're out there. All you have to do is go out there and research, and you will find that there are media reporters stating that where's the evidence of a plane hitting it? See, that's the mind game. They want you to believe that it happened, and they will tell you that it's there, but did you see it? Were you there? See, that's the whole point. Now, watch out. Here's my other example. Here is this. Let's take a husband and wife. They call the police and say that their child is missing from their house. And then they will go before, the press, and they'll have a press conference. And then the police will come out later and say, we're focusing on the parents because they didn't display any kind of emotion whatsoever. Plus, it appears that the crime scene of where their child went missing seems to be staged, right? And the detectives, the police department will tell you that's the reason why we're going after them. They showed no emotion. The crime scene seemed staged. When we do it and use the exact same criteria and state, look at this person just lost a loved one. They come on on TV, and what is the first thing they state? What's the first thing you start talking about? We need to get the guns away from the American people because there's people out there with mental health issues, blah, blah, blah. They're preoccupied with gun control, and that's one of the criteria that homicide detectives use too. Are they preoccupied with something else other than grieving? Wouldn't you go on there and go, man, I'm not going to I'm not going to be able to spend another birthday with my child or another Christmas or, and a tear flowing out there. Nothing. That's the exact same thing that we do. But the mind game is that when we do it and try to expose the people that are doing it, we get labeled a conspiracy theorist. Well, I hate to tell you, your homicide detectives are some of the biggest conspiracy theorists out there. That's how they operate, is on a theory. That's what they do.
Yeah, Professor Doom, also in carrying that forward, you say that shooting that just happened a little over a month and a half ago in Roanoke, Virginia, with the reporter Allison Parker and her cameraman Adam Ward that were actually live on a morning TV show, and they were shot and killed live on TV by a former employee, Vester Lee Flanagan. You think that never really happened. I've seen your videos. Is that correct?
Watch. It is, and let me explain something to you. If you look at both points of view here, just for a second, you have the shooter walking up the walkway and the planks, and you can hear the noise being made from his camera. And he's making the noise as he goes along, but there's no heads being turned to see who's walking up. you can actually see a quick glance from the female reporter. I mean, she would have recognized him if she worked with him before. Why didn't the cameraman, still holding the camera, turn around and look to see who was walking up behind him? That didn't happen.
Why?
The other thing is that why would Bester Flanagan, being in the broadcasting business, why would he wait for the cameraman to turn the camera on the two reporters, knowing full well that the all broadcasters have how many second delay is it? Isn't it a 10-second FCC regulated delay? What made him think that they were actually going to air that shooting on TV? It should have been stopped with the delay. Now there are people in that area that they could argue, wait a minute, you let that play through and I just watched somebody killed and now I'm mentally screwed up. I'm going to sue you. So the thing is it doesn't make sense that Bester Flanagan would wait until that camera gets turned to them, knowing full well that they should have stopped that from airing with the delay. There is many other questions, like if you look at Bester Flanagan as he's walking in his point of view with the camera, you can see that the cameraman, Adam Ward, has the camera focused right over the edge and not at Mrs. Vicki Garner, who's being interviewed. Tell me, why didn't Vicki Garner even acknowledge the fact that Bester Flanagan was walking their direction? And that didn't alarm her at all? Some big black guy walking, holding a camera, filming them, and she took no notice? I don't know. She claims that I couldn't see because there was a light from the camera of Adam Ward that was holding, but that's not true because the camera wasn't even focused in her face.
Professor Doom, we're going to take a break right now, but when we come back, I want you to explain to everybody that shooting of the reporter in Virginia that occurred a month and a half ago, what really happened, and you're claiming the shooting never happened. So we're with Professor Doom, YouTube star Professor Doom. You can go to Professor Space Doom 1 on YouTube and see all of his videos, and we'll get into more of that right after this.
Have a question or a comment? Be sure to tweet the Poor Man at poorman1. That's the Twitter account. So tweet the Poor Man, and better yet, follow the Poor Man on Twitter at poorman1.
And we are back here on Drive Time with the Poor Man, and on the line right now is YouTube star Professor Doom, who basically tries to uncover and expose the United States government for the tyrannical people they really are. And we've been just discussing right before the break that the shooting of that reporter live on television and her cameraman didn't really ever happen. And Professor Doom, I would think a lot of people probably, and again, I say this out of total respect for you, but I would think a lot of people might say, oh, this is ridiculous. Of course she got shot. And they might think you're crazy. I'm sure you get that all the time. And in this particular case, did you get some grief for exposing this story? And how do you know it's true that they were actors, supposedly, I guess, right?
Well, no, they're actually, they were real, they're real workers at the station. That's obvious. We can track Mrs. Allison Parker's work history in Adam Ward, and even Vicki Garner. It appears that she works for the Commerce District right there. The thing is, I think I could best explain it this way. Has anybody noticed that there has been a big, huge push for gun control? And they are using, instead of the same way that either China did it back in, the 1940s, 1950s, and so on, or the way Germany did it, or the way Russia did it, they're trying a different tact. It's the shock and awe. That's what I like to call it, the shock and awe. And do they put these workers up in a different place after they've paid them millions and millions of dollars? Is it because there is something huge getting ready to hit the United States, and after it hits, it ain't going to matter after that? I don't really know. All I can tell you is that if I approach this the exact same way a homicide detective would, and he would look at it, and you know what? There's people coming out of the woodwork right now after this incident happened, and they're being accused now of being a conspiracy theorist. So let's take the guys at the radio station, the Cracker Barrel. Never had been accused of being a conspiracy theorist ever before. They come out and say, "Oh, I saw the shooter's point of view, the video that he put up, and this is absolute garbage. This was a hoax, 100%." And then they're getting suspended from their job. So there's people now that are like seeing it for what it really is. But the thing is now that you've seen that, are you going to go back to all of the stuff that we've covered before and go, okay, this guy did a video on Sandy Hook. This guy did a video on the Charleston, South Carolina. Are they right? Is this true? Is this what our government is doing? Is setting up these FEMA, Department of Homeland Security exercises where they pretend to off people just to cause a racial war or a confiscation of guns through legislation or whatever the case may be. But all I know is with this last incident where they really screwed up, there's a lot of people that are seeing the light now. And,
and you think the reason all these things are happening is because the government wants to take guns away from the people?
I'm left with very few options left for the true purpose of why they're doing it. I know they're doing it. That's a given. There's no doubt in my mind about it. But now the part about why that they're doing it, is it about taking the guns out of the streets? Is it about possibly something's coming and our government knows it, but they don't want to alert us to it? So they're doing this with the shock and awe and making you think they're going to take the guns, so everybody will rush out there and go get a gun before they stop selling them? I don't know. I don't know.
Hey,
it could be either one of those two things.
Hey,
Just
Professor Doom, sorry to interrupt you. We just got a couple minutes, but I want to also, you mentioned something real quickly about this meteor that some people are saying we're going to have a meteor hit the Earth on the 23rd, which is next Wednesday. Right. And do you believe that a meteor is going to hit the Earth? And what do you think the government is doing about that?
Well, now, as far as a meteor hitting, I like to look at the evidence that we have. Of course, if you have a government-controlled monitoring system for the asteroid and they're not providing us any information, I don't have any way to say one way or the other whether a meteor is really going to hit. I use clues from some of the stuff that I see that they're trying to tell us that something's coming, and yes, I do that. But to say 100% that I have the evidence that it's going to hit, no, I can't do that. What is the government prepping? What is all of the governments around the globe prepping for right now? It should be the question. There are militaries of each of these governments that are doing the same exact kind of exercises all over. They're unprecedented. You have the United States creating all of these exercises that I don't think anybody out there could ever say that they've ever seen any kind of exercises happening the way that they're going on. Operation Jade Helm.
And
what Raider Focus.
What other governments?
Oh, you have the Netherlands. You have over in Eastern Europe, or when you talk about Lithuania, Poland, all of them doing these mass exercises.
We've only got about a minute and a half left, Professor Doom. But what do you think it all means? To summarize what you're talking about here.
Well, to summarize, I think something very huge is coming, and I think that. If they were to come out and tell us, it would cause a huge panic, and you would have people actually going out there thinking it's going to be the last moments possibly, and they might go out there and do something stupid. Do you really just think about the movie Deep Impact? If the president would have came out and told everybody, and everybody would have started acting a fool and killing each other and acting like stupid, well, then you've actually pretty much destroyed your country before you even know what the final results were going to be.
Yeah, and in the last 30 seconds, when do you think this catastrophic thing is going to happen, if you were to give a date and time?
If I were to give a date and time, I would like to say that it's going to be in the next couple months. A lot of people seem to be focused on the September 23rd to the 28th, and that's quite possible. And, they raised some good, case for that. But I cannot say 100% that is how it's going to play out. I just don't know.
Okay. That's Professor Doom. Now, Professor Doom, real quickly, how do people go and find you on YouTube to see your videos, which you're quite prolific at posting, and you've got a huge following? And thank you for all the followers of you who also are listening to this interview, and thank you for interviewing with me. How do they reach you on YouTube?
Come to YouTube. You can find me at Professor Space Doom 1 and my backup channel, Professor Space Doom 2. Subscribe and keep abreast of my my videos. And come check out all the other people out there that are putting in some very, very fine work, too, please.
Professor Doom, thank you so much. It's been an honor to have you on Drive Time with the Poor Man. Have a great day, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And when we come back, it'll be time for Hair Bro!